right now are the times where people are going to get rich. This is now the best time. We're entering market phases that we've never experienced before in our lifetime, right? They're not printing money anymore. They're not fucking doing the things that naturally boost our economy because they've realized the damage it's doing over the last 3 years, right?
Well, they're realizing that it's a shot to their own foot, right? But the thing is that it's unsustainable either way. No matter what they do, if they print or they don't print, it's not going to work out. So eventually they're going to have to start printing again.
Because of innovations like crypto.
Exactly.
Biggs and Bogs.
Unique New York. Unique.
Hey guys, and welcome back to your future handle, Biggs and Bogs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we got Spencer on sound and screens. Thanks for joining us today, folks. Happy 2023. This is our new episode, first episode of the year. We're really excited to have you with us. Smash that like button. Let's get right into it. What are we up to today, and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Hey, thanks, Marty. Happy New Year. Good to be back in the studio. We're going to change it up a bit this year. You can see that our background is already a little different. We're going to try some new things out as we learn and move forward in 2023. We're going to get into it with a market scope, but we are going to change it up. The market scope is going to change a little differently. We're going to look at the coin market cap, total market cap, and what's going on. But we're also going to join some other things during our conversation. We talk a lot about Bitcoin, but we're going to change it up. How do we plan for better days? How can we plan for better focus? How can we plan for better future in general?
Because this is your future hand.
Get into it with a market scope first.
Market scope?
Market scope. So we're going to start on coin market cap. This is where we can see the total market cap valuation. It's going to show us the 24-hour trading volume in crypto. It's going to show us a lot of different things that we don't just look at on the chart that we see on TradingView. So we're going to look at the 24-hour trading volume, which is $20 billion, which is great to see. We're going to look at the total market cap, which is now $830 billion. This is also on the way up now, which is good to see. The total amount of cryptos, which is 22,228 cryptos, which is crazy because I think the last time I even looked at this site, it was like 17,000.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of crap right there.
Whole bunch of crap.
That is a whole bunch of shit.
So you got Bitcoin, and then you got 22,228 pieces of shit. Join us here for more at your future hand. So anyway, we're going to look at that. Tons of good cryptos, but they all essentially do the same thing. We're going to look at that. But anyway, let's get it started. $830 billion market cap. So this is the total crypto valuation across the globe. $830 billion. This is a massive industry, and there's tons of room for us to get a piece of this pie.
In a system that holds quadrillions of dollars.
Yes.
There is a lot of room to go.
A lot of room to go.
Yeah. So if you're in now.
And the other thing we want to draw attention to here, so right now we have the BTC dominance. So this is how much of the market share Bitcoin has over the rest of the crypto market. So right now it's a total of 39.4%. I think at the peak of the bull market last year was about 42%, something like that.
It's been right around 40,
so that's
40, 44.
Things we want to draw attention to. So this is a look at coin market cap. You can go over to coin market cap and have a look at this. It's going to tell you all the different things that are going on in crypto.
Absolutely free.
Valuations. Absolutely free.
Yeah.
But let's go over to the BTC, USD.
Hey, we're
daily
in BC.
chart that we look at. We are in BC, so that's also
beautiful British Columbia.
So let's look at this. My little update. I had that update for you guys. New Year's Eve came out, said Happy New Year. And I said the one positive thing to note is that we have made the cross over this line of resistance. It's been coming from the all-time high here. We have made the cross above this line of resistance. Perfect retest here. In my opinion, we had this retest of this. So I'm not going to say that this is marking the bottom because we could easily go and make a bottom that's still higher than this resistance line in the future. But it is good to see that we are above this line of resistance. And since making this confirmation on this line of resistance perfectly, we have now got back above the 20-day moving average and retesting the 50-period moving average. So these are good things to see. We're still trading in our range. We are now above the resistance of 16.8. We're using that as support for the moment, and it floating in between this 20 and the 50. So question is, what's going on over?
Well, I'll tell you right now, we've been in the green all year.
Yes, we have been in the green all year
so far.
We have been in the green all year. But what's going on in the other markets? The SPX, we know, is going to be the kind of front runner of everything that's going on globally as far as the economics go. And, maybe this week, I think we have some CPI numbers coming out, some things that could change and give us a brighter look at what's going to happen this year in 2023. So this was the time of the update on New Year's Eve. I was talking about this hammer candle that we had coming in for the end of the year, which looked good. So we had that chance of retesting the EMAs on the SPX. So what happened here? Bing fucking bong. Perfectly as predicted. Got my little third grade heart illustration here for you guys here. Perfectly tested those and then went back down to the support and then again through the EMAs. So now the question is, are we actually going to confirm a move above these 20 and 50 period EMAs on the SPX and get a test of the 200?
Previous resistance to support.
Are we going to see a massive rejection here from this $3,900 mark that I was talking about and head back down to make a new low? Where is that yellow mark that I had? It's got to be there somewhere. Ooh, bing bong. Wow, there it is. Way down there at $3,278. So I drew this months ago. I personally do believe that a low is coming for this SPX here. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out here if they're fucking with us in the markets. Are they going to make this bullish flip here into 2023? Are we going to see recession? Are we going to see pain? Are we going to see depression?
Well, what is happening? Let's just talk about statistics. They have interest rates coming out this month, hikes, right? As we know, they've been doing this for the past 6 months to try and stop or to try and slow down the economy to crush. Seven increases
either way,
in 2022. To try and crush inflation, right? Because inflation got out of hand with all the money printing. But, so like you said there, potentially going to go down. That's what they want. That's I think the powers that be, the Fed or whatever, they want that stock to come down to that yellow line. I think anyways, because they want to strengthen the US dollar, right? That's the whole point of interest rate hikes, is to keep the United States as the world reserve currency. So for people like you and I who see strength in Bitcoin and potentially Bitcoin being the world reserve currency at one point, it's bad for us but that's no one's going to give up power easily, right? So that's what they want to do. And so everything's compared to the US dollar. So if you see that S&P 500 go down and any other stock go down, it's because the US dollar is going up and people are taking their money out of stocks and Bitcoin and whatever else and moving it into the US dollar and holding it in hopes that it maintains the strength. But we know that in the long run, it's inevitable that it's just not going to last. So they're going to do all they can to kick the can, so to speak, and try and keep it going as long as they can.
And that being said, we're reaching the end of that fucking era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Bitcoin's only 14 years old. Like, it's still a teenager.
Yeah, but the US dollar, though, that system's been around over 100 years, and now we know that's nearing an end because since 1915 or whatever, the dollar's lost 90% of its purchasing power.
Yeah.
And that's the reason these market fluctuations are happening. Yeah. That's the reason we're seeing such volatility, even in something like this SPX. Like, here's an example. So if we just zoom out a little bit on this daily chart, we can see that the natural progression of the SPX is slowly upward, and it has been for decades and decades, right? Mm-hmm. Except for these big changes in the market. So here's 2020. So here's the COVID scare, right? Back here we got the housing crisis, right? And these things. So the only time that this market ever gets volatile is when we suffer these big changes in the markets, right? And that's what we're doing right now.
Well, we're arguably going through the biggest change in human history right now.
Yeah.
Not only with cryptocurrency, not only with Bitcoin, but with AI.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so a lot of people are talking about there being a recession this year, and they're talking about we're going to lose a bunch of jobs. It's funny because nobody ever really says why. And if you ask me, it's going to be because of AI. AI is going to replace everything that anybody ever needs to do. So many people are going to lose their jobs because AI does it for free.
And it's funny because, like, in the beginning of AI, everyone's like, oh, there's not going to be any room for like factory workers or trade workers or all this stuff.
Hands on.
Like, now, as AI progresses, we're starting to see now that those people are safe.
Yeah.
If you have a skilled trade, you're probably safe.
Well,
because AI, the machines haven't done that. But
AI is intelligence, right? AI doesn't have hands.
Yeah. So now, engineer, designing, software development, coding, all these things, anybody has access to. You can just go on to ChatGPT.
Yeah. Any fourth grader can do it.
They can code you apps. They can write you business plans and strategies.
Nobody's
crazy.
smarter than a fifth grader anymore.
No, you're not.
Jeff, let's start that show up again.
You don't even need to be, because now you have access to something that it is smarter than us.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what I mean?
Another thing that's putting us all on the same level, like that we talk about Bitcoin is the fight for equality. Like if you want equality in finance,
and it's like now. the only thing holding you back is your procrastination and your laziness. So now you have access, you literally have access to everything that's going to make you just as advantageous as those people who had the natural skill before, because you can now use artificial intelligence to do it for you. Whether that's content creation, writing fucking songs, or making art, or writing code, and engineering fucking different design, like building designs.
Anything that people would argue would take intelligence. And I mean, a lot of people lack intelligence because they actually just lack patience. Patience, really, because it takes, nobody comes up with something right away. People work hard at the stuff that they come up with, right? And if you're, for instance, a songwriter and you get a line that you really like, and then for some reason you can't come up with the rest of the song and you just throw it away, well, it's just lack of patience. Maybe put it aside for a bit and come back to it later. But like if you stay consistent and maintain that patience and stick with things, anybody can do anything. There's no reason. But now the intelligence is out of the game. Now you don't even need to have intelligence. You just need to know how to work the intelligence, and it does the work for you, right? So, that's going to change everything. And this is potentially why I think there may be a recession this year, because the system that we have right now relies on debt. It works on debt. Everybody's in debt. And that's how the system works, right? Because they lend you money and then you have to pay them back interest, which doesn't exist, right? So yeah, there's a lot of red flags in the system. And I think AI is going to exploit them all, because there's no way that people can pay back this debt that doesn't exist when they don't have a job because AI is taking over.
Yeah. And how the fuck is it? Speaking of debt, like how the fuck is the U.S. ever supposed to pay off $130 trillion in debt?
Well, they'll print more money.
That's the only way.
It's the only way. And if you notice, this morning there was a graph that came out that they're only down to $400 million left.
Oh, what a scam.
They're only down in COVID, or in 2020 they were down to 200 million when they started printing again. So how long is it going to take them to spend $200 million? Probably not that long. Honestly, I would say in a couple more months we're probably going to see quantitative easing again. They're going to start printing money again, and the markets are going to start going up. And then we're going to see a big job loss from AI. Markets are going to go back down again. We're pretty much going to see a sideways range this whole year, in my opinion, while everybody figures shit out. Look at
We're
going to go up, we're going to go down, we're going to go up, we're going to go down. We're not going to make any real progress.
This is very strange.
Perfect time to be DCAing into Bitcoin.
This year on the SPX, like this doesn't happen. This choppy, weird, sideways fucking strategy.
More volatile than Bitcoin. For the first time in Bitcoin's history. The S&P and all other stocks have been nuts. Tesla's gone down 80%. All these other stocks.
Funny, things like Tesla, that's another thing. Like if Tesla happened to anything like what that chart did, if that happened to anything in crypto, people would be like, oh, it's a scam, it's just a Ponzi, it's this, it's that.
So funny.
But it's like, it just shows you what speculation and what social media does, because people over-speculated Tesla and the change it was going to have, and it got hype. And even fucking Elon was like, this is overvalued. We should be careful. Don't buy this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is, you know what I mean? And sure enough, here it goes, it's dumping out.
And he talked about dumping his stock before he did it too. He said he was going to do it. He's like, this is ridiculous, right? And so he made a bunch of money on things that he told people he was going to do. Yeah. And they still are just like, oh no, if Tesla's going to be the future. It's going to take over everything. He's going to be our Lord and Savior, or whatever you want to say.
I think it's very weird to see the SPX drop into a pattern like this and just chop it out.
Oh, it's super unorthodox. You look at you can go all the way back to the beginning of the stock, and it's never done anything like this. Actually, it has on a smaller scale, and it did have a big drop just after it did this. So that's another indicator that the volatility is basically showing that it's lack of stability, and we might see a big shake.
And I think that this is going to transfer over into things like crypto, and you'll start to see the instability come into these markets and the stability come to the new innovation.
Isn't that funny, eh? In the beginning, crypto was the unstable one, and now we're starting to see the flippening, where the traditional markets are starting to be unstable, and the cryptos and Bitcoin in general.
The flippening, I like that, the signal for the flippening. The flippening. So if that happens, we're going to see that these markets start to stabilize, right? And that's the powers that be, where the money is, they're going to naturally progress to what the masses do.
Oh yeah,
and we're
that's all they have. They have no choice to do that. Exactly. That's what they have to do, because
we're going to see that. And so what we want to see is the decoupling of crypto or Bitcoin. Sorry, I should say. We want to see the decoupling of Bitcoin from these traditional finance markets.
Right.
And that's probably 10 years or 20 years down the road, even. Unless it fucking.
It could be tomorrow. That's the thing.
Well, it could be in the next 3 years, I think.
Yeah, it could be a lot quicker than people think.
It could be 10 years or 20 years too.
Yeah.
But I think that on a short time frame, I think between now and mid 2025.
Yeah.
So the next, say, 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years, It could happen, but if it does, it's going to be so fucking fast that you're going to fucking miss out.
So this is the thing. I asked ChatGPT if Bitcoin was the future, and it told me that there's a good chance that digital currencies will be the future, but ultimately it comes down to what people choose to use. Yeah. Because we make the decision. Whatever we use is going to be popular. It's going to be the thing. And for people who haven't used crypto, it's scary.
We've been saying that on this show the whole time we started this show, though.
But once you start using crypto,
the money will follow the masses. Yeah. Okay, so we know that the narrative steers the market, and they steer the narrative. Narrative steers the market. But all they're doing is fucking making educated fucking guesses on what they hope will make them the most money,
and trying to manipulate you into thinking
like that. And then they go with the direction of the masses, and then they use that to fucking further their plans and yada yada. It's like. The reality is that chaos profits for them, right? But the natural progression of the masses is where they're going to put their money. Mm-hmm. So they work in correlation together. That's why you can correlate anything almost to a fucking conspiracy theory, because we can fucking tie anything together and make it fucking look like one thing or another, because they naturally work together. Yeah. And the narrative and the powers that be do this, right? And they just use it to benefit themselves one way or another, in which direction it's going.
Yeah, and we know digital currency is going to be the future, whether it's CBDCs or whether it's because everything's going digital. Okay, you can't deny that we're not going to have, even right now, the fiat currency that we use is digital. So whether it's crypto or fiat, it's going to be whatever we use. It's going to be digital. And if you haven't used crypto yet, then you probably think it's going to be fiat because it's easy for you to use. But the only reason it's easy for you to use is because you've used it and you're familiar with it. The first time you use crypto is probably going to be a little bit confusing, but the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth time you use it, it's going to be so fucking easy that you are going to shoot yourself in the foot and be like, why did I use fiat currency for so many years of my life? And when crypto is so fucking easy.
I've been trying to get money. I've been trying to get more money out of the bank lately to put more money into crypto. And I'm fucking angry.
Oh, well, they don't want you to do that.
Every time.
Because they're losing money. They're losing their job. Crypto is taking financial systems jobs, the banks, that we don't need the banks anymore. Just me selling you that hat, for instance, right? You bought that hat off me with crypto. It took 10 seconds for you to send me Bitcoin, and I gave you that hat. And it's so easy. I put my QR code, he scanned it, boom, $30.
Yeah. But I want to take about a little extra money out of my RSP or my GICs or whatever. And they're like, we're going to need some time. We're going to need some time. What do you mean we're going to need some fucking time?
They don't have the money.
They don't have the money.
That's why they need the time.
And it's not even problematic to try and get your money from the bank. Try and go take a bunch of money, take tens of thousands of dollars and try and give it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't want it. They don't want.
You're gonna have to come back.
Yeah, we don't have anywhere to put that.
So that's a fucking problem. Yeah, that's a fucking problem when you can't take money to or from the fucking bank.
And people are literally in other countries walking around with wheelbarrows full of cash because they don't know what to do with it. It's like, oh man, we're due for a change. We're due for a big change, and we have an alternative.
We're in this paradigm shift now where. Right now, this year, whatever it is, like, we're not going to be able to time the market. We're not going to be able to time the bottom perfectly, but it's fucking close, which is why we start to now allocate some funds, dollar cost average into this market, and start to get a little heavier when it gets to the lower prices, right? Because we know that right now are the times where people are going to get rich. This is now the best time. We're entering market phases that we've never experienced before in our lifetime, right? They're not printing money anymore. They're not fucking doing the things that naturally boost our economy because they've realized the damage it's doing over the last 3 years, right?
Well, they're realizing that it's a shot to their own foot, right? But the thing is that it's unsustainable either way. No matter what they do, if they print or they don't print, it's not going to work out. So eventually they're going to have to start printing again.
Because of innovations like crypto.
Exactly.
So the way the economy works isn't going to change. They have to print money to keep things going. Yeah. But now they've got these worries and these disruptive innovations that are taking money from the system and how it naturally works now. And it's going to fucking...
And all it's doing is cutting out middlemen.
But it's going to change, and it's going to go on a blockchain. I don't care what you think. It's going to go on a fucking blockchain. So whether it's Ripple Network and XRP that fucking the conglomerates use or whatever it is, it's going to be something in the digital space.
Yeah, I remember when I sent you that thing that was on blockchain. So when I asked ChatGPT about blockchain being the future, it said it's inevitable. It's going to change. Inevitable. It's going to change all markets because it's an open and transparent ledger that's copied and transported to any network user user, and everybody is on the same page.
It fixes the issues that we have in every system. It can fix the issues in
Dude, it's
banking,
so funny. Think about your business. Anybody that runs a business, you have to keep track of all your receipts, all your spending, and all that sort of stuff to get your tax refund at the end of the year. If you do your business on blockchain, you don't have to keep track of anything. Blockchain keeps track of it all.
I was like,
it's
one
all
of
there.
Our mutual friends, he has that fucking painting company.
Yeah.
You see that video of those receipts?
I
was like, oh my God.
And if you run a business on blockchain and every single transaction you do is on the blockchain, all you need to do is give your accountant the access to the blockchain and everything's there. You don't need to hold on to receipts. You don't need to do so many things that people lose time and sleep and emotional over just to run their own business. Like it's here. This is it. This is it. It's inevitable. Once the majority of people realize that this is the easier way to go, it's going to happen like that. We're going to see that panic buy.
And it doesn't matter, even if the people our age and the people our age and older don't believe or agree. It's like the natural progression of things. The kids.
Yeah,
what do you think they're going to do?
Cognitive dissonance for them.
When a 20-year-old kid can go, I can literally do everything from right here on a network on my phone that is just like all the social media networks that I use.
Yeah.
Or I can go to the bank and deal with some fucking dickhead that I don't understand who's fucking makes everything.
Well, they have no idea what they're doing there either. They probably just got the job.
They're not going to do it anymore. Everything's accessible now in a phone network.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter what you think. That's the way it's going, and it's already proven in the fucking data. Like it's here for us to see.
Yeah,
right?
it is the next step in the human evolution. It's inevitable. It's just when is it going to happen? And it's going to happen when the majority of the population realizes how easy it is and how they can actually go back to living their lives instead of worrying about a bunch of other bullshit and keeping tabs on spending and all this other stuff. And as soon as you have everything on the blockchain, you're good.
And it's interesting. People are like, oh well, you can always buy, sell Bitcoin, it's always going to go down, it's going to go this, it's going to go that. Well, right now it's super volatile, but when it becomes and has more of a use case and businesses are accepting it, there's going to be no change in the market because I'm going to fucking buy these goods with Bitcoin and that customer that client or whatever the fuck the business is just accepts it's in Bitcoin. It's still in the network. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
We're all going to benefit when it gets to that certain point. But right now, when it's at these lows is when you want to scoop it all up because you might end up ahead of the game in the next 10 years.
I see personally, 2030, let's say in the 2030s, people talking about buying things with Satoshis. So instead of dollars, you're going to use Satoshis, which is 8 decimal points of a Bitcoin is 1 Satoshi. So for instance, 1 Satoshi right now is maybe worth
$3, $2.
Maybe. I would say it's more like 16 cents or something like that. It's low. It's got to be
that low?
Yeah, it's got to be low because 16,000 remove 8 decimal points. It's got to be it's going to be less than a cent.
Is that what it is? 8 decimal points?
Yeah, so it's going to be less than a cent right now. But at the time of Bitcoin being $1 million, it's going to be because Bitcoin would have to be $1 million for it to be $1, right? Something like that. Anyways, we're going to be using Satoshis instead of dollars because that's what it's going to be like. And if you own 1 Bitcoin, you're going to be
you're right.
You're going to be a millionaire or whatever, right? It's funny because all these terms are going to change when we start.
I thought it was $1.60. So
when we start using crypto as the world reserve currency because that's just how it's going to go, right? We don't still talk about the Roman coins and everything that they used to use back in the day, right? It changes, but that's the way it's going to go, and you're going to be able to go down to the store and probably buy like a loaf of bread for 5 Satoshi type thing. So like you can do the math and you can and figure that out for yourself, but that's the way it's going to go because you can't add to the system. You can't add to the Bitcoin blockchain, right? It's already got all the Bitcoin that is going to be available is on the chain. It's not available until it's all mined, but it's still, you can't add to it. And that's what makes it valuable. That's why people are going to start using it as digital gold, so to speak, because you can't just, even gold itself, we know that the royal family controls like 80% of the market. So why would anybody want to buy real gold or paper gold for that matter if the royal family could dump half of their holdings at any time and still have 40% of it? It's like that is another huge controlled market. Like, and obviously over the years we've seen it play its part, gold played its part, but then now the royal families have accumulated so much of it that the rest of us are like, well, but why? Like, there's no point in using that anymore. If you guys have it all, well, then screw you. Like, we're going to do our own thing, right? So it's like, that's going to happen. But the thing is we could still mine gold. There's asteroids out there that they're talking about trying to mine asteroids, trying to get resources off of asteroids, and that's just going to add more gold to the system, it's going to make it worth less, right? The more you add anything to something, it makes it worth less. Bitcoin, you cannot add any more. Right now, we're super early. Some people think that we're late because we've already had 3 cycles.
I still think gold will see another fucking massive bull run as the fiat dollar continues to crash. I do still think that there's a lot of room for gold
as a stepping stone.
Yeah, because not everyone's going to want to go digital.
Yeah.
The US dollar is going to continue to fucking go down as it always has.
So anybody that's born 1960 or before,
so it's like, I do still think that I do still
which
think
there's
gold,
a lot of money. There's a lot of money, right? They're
so
all
it's
retired.
like, gold hit a max of what, 2,200 or some shit like that, right?
Yeah,
so
I don't think it hits another all-time high personally.
You don't?
I don't think.
See,
so.
I do think it
maybe
will.
double top.
I think as fiat fucking really finds its bottom and fails, I think gold will take another run before things go all intangible with things like fucking crypto.
But the thing is that gold is already untangible. The most of gold trading is all paper.
Yeah, but we're gonna continue to mine gold, and the dollar value is going to continue to go down. We're going to continue to mine gold, and the value of gold and the purpose of gold is going to continue to stay. If not just plateaued, it will reach another plateau.
But what happens if you see a headline that says, we got that asteroid and now we're coming home with, I can't remember, there is one that they have their eye on that they're trying to they're working on mining, and it's going to have enough, I can't remember what the number is, so don't quote me on this, but more gold than anybody will ever understand what to do with.
It's on this asteroid.
Yeah. So it's like, if they actually do that, then there's no value to gold whatsoever. If we have that much of it, what are you going to do with it?
So if we get this rock from space...
Do you like wearing gold necklaces?
No.
Neither do I. Nobody cares about gold. This is a Zaleska piece, actually a handmade Zaleska piece. Yeah, it's wrapped in copper wire.
Is that copper?
Yeah, it's copper wire. Oh, yeah, gold. It's wrapped in gold.
Who knows?
It's wrapped.
I don't want jewelry. Period.
I mean, it's just a thing. That's really its only use case is jewelry, right? And we're not the Egyptians. We don't care about jewelry anymore. People care about technology.
Lots of people care about jewelry for some reason. I personally.
Well, you know about the diamond market. You know how
also oversaturated.
Exactly, right? You know how whack the diamond market is. The gold market's no different.
You still have idiots out there buying $500,000 watches.
Hey man, whatever. I got a green screen. If you want to record your people's jewelry commercial here, hit me up. Shirley Sound. I got a studio space. We can make your goal. I mean, I'm just. Whatever.
Sounds good. On that fucking note, I think that's about it.
Hey, yeah. So check out ChatGPT. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's going to change the way everybody does things. It's going to change the world. A lot of shit happened over the holidays while people weren't paying attention to regular old stuff. And here we go, 2023. It's going to be a big one. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, hit us up, and let's get it. Biggs and Pogs out. Peace.
Peace.
That's probably the best episode of the year. Perfect.